Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just give me a second. So we are entering the Dvitiya Mundaka. Okay, last Mundaka and the last Khanda. Okay, give me a second. So let us start. Savedaitat paramam brahmadhama yatra vishvam nihitam bhati shubram upasade purusham ye yakamaste shukram etat ativartanti dhiraha. So the second Mundaka last mantra ended in how those who are desirous of bhutikamaha, of prosperity, should worship uh, should worship the wise person who has known Brahman. Why? Because these wise people are Satya Sankalpaha. All of their desires get fulfilled. And so they should worship them if they wish to have that prosperity. So that was said for those who are sakamaha, so who have desires. But what about mumukshus? What if they do not have any desire? Just give me a second. So we were talking that the earlier mantra mentioned how those who are desirous of prosperity or fulfilling their desires should worship the wise person. So now the question is, what about mumukshu who do not desire any worldly matter and who just wants moksha in this life? What about them? So then this mantra is for addressing those mumukshus. Saha Veda etat paramam brahma brahmadhama yatra vishvam nihitam bhati shubhram upasate purusham ye hi akamaha te shukram etat ativartanti dhiraha. Meaning those who worship these wise people, those who are free from desires, even when they will worship the wise, they will get some result. What is that result? They will get the antahakaran shuddhi, purification of mind, and worshipping the wise will help them transcend this cycle of birth and death. That is the idea that they are trying to convey. So whoever saha veda etad paramam brahma dhama, whoever he is who knows this param brahma, which is the supreme abode. Dhama is here taken as abode, which is the supreme abode. Yatra vishvam nihitam. What kind of abode is that? In which all of this world or creation is nihitam, is supported, in which or by which all of this world is supported. Bhati, Shubhram, which shines purely. Shubhram Bhati, it shines purely. Bhati means shines, Shubhram means pure. Upasate Purusham, ye akamaha. So those who are free from desires, those people free from desires, having vairagya, those mumukshu basically, when they worship the wise, so ye akamaha is given another adjective, dhiraha. So those who go to the wise people not for any material prosperity, but just for Antakaran Shuddhi. They are what? Dhiraha. They are the discriminative ones. They are the Viveki Purushaha. So those Viveki, they also get a result. What is that? Te Shukram Etat Ativartanti. They become free from the cycle of birth and death. So Bhashyakara explains the mantra. Yasmat Saha Veda, because the knower of Atma is worthy to be worshipped. Why? So that the mantra is explaining. Yasmat, because Saha Veda. Veda meaning Janati. He knows. He knows what? Etat paramam brahma. Etat meaning what? Yatha ukta lakshanam. He knows this Brahman, which is of the attributes as already mentioned before as what? Bruhat Divyam. As mentioned in the earlier mantra, in the earlier khanda, mantra 7, Bruhatcha tad divyam achintya rupam sukshmat tad sukshmataram durat suduram, all that. So, Brahman, which is explained in this matter, which is supreme, Paramam, which is supreme, Paramam meaning Prakrishtam, and which is Dhama, Dhama meaning abode. Bhashyakara is explaining as Sarva Kamanam Ashrayam, Aspadam, which is the Ashraya, which is the support for all the desires, which is the abode of all the desires of the nature of knowledge. Which is Yatra Yasmin Dhamni Brahmani. Yatra meaning Yasmin, in which meaning what? In which Brahman, in which Dhamni meaning in which abode, Vishwam meaning the Samastam Jagat, the entire universe, Nihitam Arpitam is fixed or is superimposed, Yatcha Svena Jyotisha, and which Yatcha Svena Jyotisha Bhati, and which shines, Yat Bhati, which shines, how? Svena Jyotisha, by its own light. It does not require anything else to illuminate itself. It illumines by its own light, meaning it is self-effulgent. Shuddham, Shubhram, which is Shuddham, which is pure. Tam api evam vidam atmagnam. To that knower of self, tam api, to that knower of self, atmagnam, to that knower of self, meaning the wise person, those who are free from desires of prosperity and glory, or those who are free from desires, there should be a kamaha somewhere, yes. Atmagnam Purushaha, meaning the knower of the self, those Purushaha who are the knower of the self, ye akamaha, those who are free from desires, meaning vibhuti trushna varjitaha, meaning those who are devoid of the trushna, desire for vibhuti, prosperity, meaning what? Those who are mumukshavaha, those who are mumukshus, those who are desirous of moksha, mumukshavaha santaha, being desirous of moksha, those who upasate, those who worship, how? Paramam eva devam, those who worship this wise as Ishvara, as Deva. So who worship the Guru and Acharya in the same manner as they would worship Ishvara, te Shukram etat ativartanti. They dhiraha, those people, those discriminating ones, those mumukshu transcend the cycle of birth and death. That is explained as Shukram Dhrubijam, which is the cause of birth, which is the cause of birth. that is transcended. Ativartanti, atigachanti. Etad meaning what? Prasiddham. Etad, which is Etad meaning this Shukram, which is well known for what? Sharira Upadana Karanam. This Shukram, which is well known as the cause of uh, an embodiment, as the cause of a birth, because it is the material cause of the body. In this manner, it is well known, and that mumukshus, those mumukshus who uh, worship the wise people, they transcend this life cycle, like this cycle of birth and death. What is Tiraha Buddhimantaha? Those who have uh, those who have abundance of viveka and na punaha yonim prasarpanti, meaning they do not have to take birth again. न पुनः क्व रतिम karoti iti shrutehe. So as said in the Shruti, so Bhashyakara is also quoting a Shruti to give strength to his interpretation. That in Shruti also it is said, na punaha kva ratim karoti. The person, this mumukshu, no longer have a desire or is not attracted to anything else again. Ataha tam pujayet iti abhiprayah. Therefore, may that wise meaning, may that mumukshu who wants to become a wise person, may uh, may that mumukshu worship that wise. So, okay, this is a karmani prayoga. So, may that wise person here, okay, so I'm changing the statement. May that wise person who is abiding in knowledge, may that wise person be worshipped. Pujayet, be worshipped. This is the intent of the Shruti. So that's it. Okay. So then we enter the second mantra. कामान्यः कामयेते मन्यमानः स कामभिर्जायते तत्र तत्र पर्याप्तकामस्य कृतात्मनस्तु इहैव सर्वे प्रविलीयन्ति कामाः. So result of knowledge is being explained now. So kaman yah kamayate manyamanaha. So those desirers of desirable objects, kamayate, those desiring kaman, desirable objects. How? Manyamanaha, brooding over those desirable objects. Saha kamabihi jayate tatra tatra. Those people are born again and again, kamabihi, along with their desires, along with the tendencies of their desires and those desirable objects. So they gain birth again and again in a setup where they will get those desirable objects. So if in this lifetime I'm going to contemplate upon the desires and desirable objects, then that is what I'm going to get. Meaning I will always remain in the cycle of birth and death. Paryapta kamasya kritatmanah tu, however, those who are paryapta kamasya, those whose desires have been fulfilled, they do not no longer are distracted by external desires for external objects. Krutatmanaha. Why? Because they are fulfilled, because they are aptakamaha, because they have only this desire for the self, and they are fulfilled by atmaratihi, atmakridaha. So those who are like this, iha eva sarve kamaha praviliyanti. For them, all of their desires, they get exhausted here itself. And because, so this sarve praviliyanti kamaha is explaining The previous mantra, Shukrametat Ativartante Dhiraha. So those who worship the wise people, they transcend this cycle of birth and death. That alone is mentioned here. How those who are Paryapta Kamasya, those who are fulfilled, Krutatmanaha, for them, all the desires for external objects, they merge here itself. Meaning it is talking about Jivan Muktaha. That we have to remember. The true talking of Jivan Muktaha. So there is no further birth. Why? Because when do we have a birth? When there is a desire leads to the next birth. But when the desires gets exhausted, then a person no longer has to continue in the cycle of birth and death. Okay. So moving forward, mumukshoho kamatyaga e okay. मुमुक्षोः कामत्यागः एव प्रधानं साधनम् इति एतत् दर्शयति. So for this mumukshah, for this is mumukshu, kamatyaga, giving up of desire alone is the primary means. This is being shown. And what is giving up of kama? Giving up of desire is showing vairagya. When would you give up kama? Kama for what? For desirable objects. Meaning for external objects, for anything other than I. When I have desires, then my mind is distracted. It is not available to contemplate on the self. And it is distracted by this contemplation of non-self. So what is the primary sadhana if I am interested in moksha, if I want to know the true nature of the self, if I want to know the true nature of Brahman? Kamatyagah or Vairagyah. So Vairagyah is presented as the primary means. And Bhashyakara tells कामान यह दृष्ट अदृष्ट इष्ट विषयान् कामयते मन्यमानः तद्गुणान् चिन्तयानः प्रार्थयते. So this much we'll take first. So
Pushti, can you please further move that page? No? We
you
are
are
not
not
able to
able
see.
to see?
Yeah, we are not able to see.
You are
Still,
not
we are
able
able
to
to see
see
only the
this?
one sloka mantra, one only.
Oh,
We have
okay.
now gone to the second and third.
Let me. Are you able to see now?
Yeah, now we are able to see. Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, let me know whenever that happens again. So Kaman. Okay. So we are doing this. So Bhashyakara said, Mumukshoho Kamatyagaha eva pradhanam sadhanam iti etat darshayati. So for Mumukshu, this Vairagya or Kamatyaga or giving up of desire alone is the primary means. This is being shown. Bhashyakara says, Kaman yaha drishta adrishta ishta vishayan kamayate. So yaha, that person, those who kamayate, those who desire what? Kaman, those who desires desirable objects. What kind of desirable objects? Adjective is given. Drushta, adrushta, ishta, vishayan. Uh, whatever, uh, whatever desirers of desirable objects, the ishta vishayan, the desirable objects, which may be drishta, seen or unseen. So those who desire for these kind of seen and unseen desirable objects, manyamanaha, while brooding over these desirable objects. How are they brooding? Tad gunan chintayanaha prarthayate. They are brooding over, okay, what will I, how will this object be helpful to me? How will it be useful to me? all how is it um, of advantage to me. So in this manner, they continuously contemplate on the guna, uh, on usefulness of the particular thing, and so their mind is constantly occupied by the thought of that object. Saha taihi kamabihi. So for them, that person, taihi kamabihi, along with those desires, kamabihi explained as kamaihi, dharma adharma pravritti hetubihi, vishaya icharupaihi saha. So, along with that desire, which becomes the hetu, meaning which becomes the cause for what? Pravritti, for engaging in what? Dharma and adharma. So, kama, desires, which becomes the hetu, cause for engaging in adharma. Uh, Vishaya Icha Rupaihi, uh, which desires are in the form of desire for sense objects or anything external to me. So along with that, kamabihi meaning all of this that Bhashyakara explained, jayate, that person is born again and again. So tatra yatra yatra vishaya prapti nimittam kamaha कर्मसु पुरुषं नियोजयन्ति तत्र तत्र तेषु तेषु विषयेषु तैः एव कामैः वेष्टितं जायते. So, entertaining whatever desires for obtaining a particular sense objects he desires. Karmasu purusham niyojayanti. In that same, okay, let me see. That desire will do what? It will niyojayanti karmasu. It will engage the person in doing some action so that he will acquire those desirable objects. तत्र तत्र तेषु तेषु विषयेषु तैः एवैः कामैः वेष्टितः जायते. So in this manner, when he is totally engrossed in thinking about the sense objects, along with doing some karma, doing some action so that he would get those sense objects, then what will happen? He is completely pervaded by the thought of these desires, and his next birth will also be similarly kind of in the midst of, or his next birth will be such that he will get these desires as he had been brooding over in the past lives. Let's see how I have translated. So that person having the desires which becomes the cause of his engaging in any pravruti of dharma or adharma, meaning right and wrong, which are in the form of tendencies for desire of external objects. That person is born again with the desires and the desirable objects. So it's not that the person is, just born. Those desires he brings along with him, the desires and the desirable objects. My brooding over something, brings those objects and those tendencies as well in my next birth. Meaning, in whatever area the person gets engaged on account of the desire to acquire those sense objects, bound by those same desires for the respective sense pleasures and sense objects, he is born again. To be concise, he is born again along with his desires and along with the desirable objects. So Bhagavan will give a setup where he will gain the desirable objects for which he had been brooding over. And then what will happen? In this lifetime again, I will brood over to fulfill some other desires. And so that cycle of uh, getting my desires fulfilled and getting some desirable objects at that will continue. uh, then now the contrast is given. So this is for aviveki who keep on reveling in desires and trying to get fulfilled by fulfilling their desires of acquiring the uh, seen and unseen desirable objects. However, those who want moksha, what about them? यह तु परमार्थतत्त्वविज्ञानात् पर्याप्तकामः आत्मका आत्मकामत्वेन परिसमन्ततः आप्ताः कामाः यस्य तस्य पर्याप्तकामस्य. We will take this much first. However, two meaning however. Two meaning however. यह those Paramartha Tattva Vijnanat Paryapta Kamaha. Those who are fulfilled in all ways, in all aspects. Why? On account of the knowledge of the absolute truth, Paramartha Tattva. On account of the knowledge of this Brahman or absolute truth, those who are fulfilled in all aspects. Atma Kamatvena. Why are they fulfilled in all aspects? Because they have dropped all the desires for um, anything external to themselves, and now they are what? Atma Kamatvena. So how do they become Paryapta Kamaha? Atma Kamatvena. By having or by entertaining the desire of self, meaning knowing the self. Meaning when Atma Kama, acquiring Atma, attaining Atma becomes my only commitment in life, only desire in my life, only priority in my life, then this person becomes Paryapta Kamaha. All his desires for other things sheds off. So then Parisamantataha Aptaha Kamaha. So then from all sides, pari meaning from all sides, in all ways, aptaha, he is fulfilled. He doesn't have desires, kamaha, for anything else other than the self. Yasya meaning uh, uh, of that person. So Atma Kama, Paryapta Kama is talking about the person who is so. Tasya paryapta kamasya. So though that person who has atma kama, who has desire for the self, that person alone is going to be paryapta kamaha. That person alone is going to be fulfilled, uh, who will be one who has fulfilled all his desire. Meaning, we cannot fulfill all our desire. The desire drops. All other desires drops in the wake of the knowledge that I was going after mithya entities. I was going for temporary things in my life, and what I want is permanent. And what is permanent? Atma. This Atma is permanent, and therefore Atma Kamatvena, by this knowledge and inclination of self, all the inclinations for impermanent, it drops. Such a Krutatmanaha, one who abides in the self, avidya lakshanat अपररूपात् अपनीय स्वेन परेण रूपेण कृतः आत्मा विद्यया यस्य tasya krutatmanah. Okay, so it's a little bit complicated, so bear with me, but I will just give you the like the central meaning. So don't worry if you get, you don't get the word to word meaning. But our understanding of ourselves, which is not to the mark of Param Brahman, that I am limitless, Why do we take ourselves to be limited? Avidya lakshana. Because of ignorance, we take ourselves to be limited. When that limitation is given up, how? By vidya. So when I give up avidya, okay, when I give up avidya, meaning when I give up my notions, when I give up the Brahma, uh, Svena parena rupena krutah atma vidya. How? By the knowledge of uh, the superior atma, which is my own swarupa, I become abiding in myself. So how will, in short, krutatmanaha means abiding in self. How am I going to abide in self? It is like that lamp is lit and it is covered by the pot. What do you need to do? Do you need to lit the lamp is already lit. What is obstructing the light is the pot, so you just have to uncover the pot, you just have to remove the pot. And so also krutatmanaha, you just remove the avidya lakshanat apararupat, that obstruction uh, in the form of avidya. When you remove it, then svena rupena, that self-effulgent atma is going to reveal itself. And that abidance is my nature. That I'm not abiding right now is because I am distracted right now, and my understanding is veiled by what? uh, by ignorance. So what I have to do is remove the ignorance, and the natural abidance, which is my nature, uh, I will recognize that to be my nature. Let me see how I have explained it here. So the one who is fulfilled, uh, as he knows there is nothing but himself, the one who has given up, uh, I'll come to this one again. Let me complete this statement as I'm explaining. Tu iha eva tishtati. However, this one who has removed, was eliminated all these avidya lakshana apararupat, uh, the veil, iha eva tishtati. Iha eva tishtati meaning iha sharire eva tishtati, meaning while alive. It is talking about Jivan Mukti. While being alive, he Swarupe tishtati. He abides in his self, in his true nature. Sarve dharma adharma pravritti hetavah praviliyanti. And what happens? And all the karmas or all the karma, which are the hetu, which are the cause for pravritti. Same thing that we explained earlier, which is the cause for engagement or pravritti or acting or doing what? Dharma and adharma. Uh, for doing good and bad deeds, or for doing righteous and unrighteous actions, all of them praviliyanti, they merge. They are destroyed. That's the meaning. Meaning, there is no more this cycle of birth. Let's see the meaning again. So I've translated it as, however, Yahatu, the one who, on account of the knowledge of the absolute truth, Paramartha Tattva Vijnanat, what is that? Brahman. So that Paramartha Tattva is Brahman. The one who is Paryapta Kamaha, one who is fulfilled, whose desires of external objects are no longer present. Why? Atma Kamatvena, by being desirous of the self. Parisamantataha, one who is fulfilled entirely in all aspects. Aptaha kamaha, one who is fulfilled by oneself, as he knows there is nothing but himself. The one who has given up apara avidya lakshanat apara rupat apaniyaha, the one who has given up the inferior form of the nature of ignorance. How? Svena parena rupena krutah atma vidyaya. Sorry, vidyaya, not vidyaya, vidyaya. How? How has he given it up? Uh, the one who has given up the inferior form of the nature of ignorance by his own para form, supreme form, by knowledge of that fulfilled one, Krutatmanaha, Tasya Krutatmanaha, of that fulfilled one, Praviliyante. What? Praviliyante sarve dharma adharma pravritti hetavaha. So all the karmas or kamas, all the desires which are the cause for we will to do kama. All the desire get praviliyante. All the desires which are the cause for engaging in good and bad deeds become exhausted here alone. Iha eva. So while he is living, he enjoys this Jivan Mukti. Am I going too fast? Is it fine? Are you able to understand?
Yes, Ji, understand.
Good.
We can understand.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yes. Yeah, we are able to understand.
Okay, because I am on a mission today to do as much as possible. Okay. So then the last sentence, Kamaha tad janma hetu vinashat na jayante iti abhiprayah. So because the desires are the hetu, are the cause of birth, and since those desires are destroyed, therefore there will be no more birth. This is the meaning. Okay, then I just had some notes from Swamiji's lecture that when ignorance goes, what goes? The the feeling I have so far, my what is my actual problem? That I am uncomfortable. I am unacceptable to myself. I have this problem of self non-acceptable acceptance, and that goes when ignorance goes, and thus what happens? One discovers the fulfillment, inner fulfillment, which is my very nature. So desire for something is what? It is not legitimate, and this understanding makes one desirous of the self. Then I want to know that self, you know, and knowing that self is all inclusive. Knowing that self, okay, and knowing that the self is that the Atma is all inclusive. He discovers what? He discovers that there is nothing separate from me. And in that discovery, what happens? That feeling of non-acceptance, that feeling of uncomfort, it goes away. It no longer remains. And therefore, knowing such an Atma, knowing that Atma is all inclusive, knowing that there is nothing separate from me, knowing that one thing, he knows everything. This was the pratigna of Mundaka Upanishad. Kasminno bhagavah ekasmin vignate sarvam vignatam bhavati iti. What is it? Knowing which one thing, one knows everything. And this is the unfoldment. Knowing one thing, knowing one Brahman, one knows everything. And where is that Brahman? Is that Brahman outside there, somewhere outside, away from me, different from me, separate from me? No. That Brahman I am. That Brahman is supposed to be known where? In the Hridaya Guha. As what? As my very self, as I. And so, by knowing the self as that Brahman, as that limitless, one knows everything, meaning there is nothing remaining to be known. There is nothing of significance uh, to be remaining to be known. Okay. Now, uh, uh, some additional sadhana uh, is being mentioned. What is the primary sadhana? What is the primary means by which this Atma will be recognized, which will help me to recognize this Atma. That is said, Nayamatma pravachinine labhyah namedaya na bahuda shrutena yamevaisha vrunute tena labhyah tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. Na ayam atma pravachanena labhyah. This atma is not to be gained by merely study of scriptures or by merely reciting the scriptures, by merely repetition. Pravachana here, Bhashyakara will explain, is in the sense of repeating. The Vedas are chanted, in that meaning, chanting is the meaning of pravachanena. So this Atma is not to be attained merely by chanting or by merely study of scriptures. Namedaya, even if you are able to retain lot of text and the meaning of the text, then also it cannot be attained. It does not guarantee. That's what it means. Na bahuna shutena. Even if you listen to the Shastras again and again, for many years, it does not guarantee you that you will get Atma. Then what? Then how should I get this Atma? Yameva eshaha vrunute. My commitment to this Atma, by choosing this Atma as the one and only priority in my life, tena labhya. By that choosing, by that commitment, by that priority alone, this Atma is attained. Tasya eshaha Atma vivrunute tanam swam. To that seeker who has chosen, who has done the Varanam of Atma in this manner, this Atma Vivrunate Tanum Swam, this Atma reveals its true nature, how the conditions are created to reveal itself. So, this mantra emphasizes the need for devotion, the need for commitment for this goal in our life. Otherwise, it will be what? Yoga as well as bhoga. I have laddu in my one hand and I want moksha. That doesn't happen. So, emphasis is given that, okay, these means are that pravachana, medha, shravanam, all this is fine. But if that is without that varanam, then it will not fructify into the result that it should give us. That is what is being emphasized. Ashakara says, यदि एवं सर्वलाभात् परम आत्मलाभः तत् लाभाय प्रवचन आदयः उपायाः बाहुल्येन कर्तव्याः इति प्राप्ते इदमुच्यते. So, यदि एवं सर्वलाभात्, if this is so, that Atmalabha, by the attainment of Atma, if this is so, that Atmalabha, attainment of Atma, Paramam, is superior Sarvalabhat, then attainment of everything else. If this is so, that labhaya, then for the attainment of Atma, pravachana adayah upayah bahulyena kartavyah, then the means such as pravachana and whatever else was mentioned. What else was mentioned? Pravachana, then medha, then shravanam. All this should be adopted in abundance. This interpretation is a possibility, and that is negated by the Shruti. And Shruti is giving us a direction of what a seeker should do, what is the most important means for attainment of Atma. Yaha ayam Atma vyakhyatah. So this Atma, which has already been commented upon, yasya labha paraha purushartah, whose attainment is the primary goal of human life. Idam uchyate. Sorry. Na asau Veda Shastra Adhyayana Bahulyena Pravachanena Labhyah. That Atma cannot be gained. It cannot be gained by Pravachanena, by Pravachana or chanting or the study of Veda Shastra. I've written here in my notes, repeating what has been learned is called pravachana. So it cannot be gained in this manner. And neither can it be gained by Veda Shastra Adhyayana Bahulyena, by, by increasing the amount of study time of all the Veda Shastra. This Varanam is very important. Without Varanam, that all our effort will not fructify, or even if it fructifies, it will slow down the process. Sometimes even the Shravanam will do what? Chitta Shuddhi. And through Chitta Shuddhi, then when we listen again, then we will find that, oh, I had already listened to this previously, but now that I'm listening again, it is giving me something, some more insight. This we find many times. Why do we find that? Because every time I listen, some chitta shuddhi, some purification of mind happens. And so now the same vakya of the Shastra are able to reveal something more subtle that it wanted to convey to me before. So our chitta shuddhi alone becomes a nimitta for giving us more and more insight into the nature of this Atma. Okay, so this Atma cannot be gained in this manner by a lot of Shastra Dhyayana and by chanting, then Pravachanena. Then what? Tatha, uh, Tatha na medhaya. And it also cannot be attained by retaining the meaning of the text. Medha Shakti is retaining the meaning of the text. Grantha Artha Dharana Shaktya. Medha is what? Grantha Artha, meaning of the Grantha, Dharana. And retaining that meaning of the Grantha, that Shakti, that power is called Medha. Even if you have that Medha, it does not guarantee you the attainment of Atma. Na bahuna Shrutena, even if you do the Shravana a lot of time or abundantly, still na api bhuyasa, even if you do Shravanam frequently, it's not a guarantee that it will give you this attainment of self. So something else must be there for all this to be effective. We are not saying, we are not discarding all these means. We want to highlight something. Shruti wants to highlight something, and therefore this kind of language, this kind of structuring is being made. What is needed? What is Shravanam? So Swamiji gave nice um, you know clarity on what is Shravanam. Shravanam doesn't mean just listening to the lectures. Shravanam meaning carrying out a vichara in accordance with what the teacher is trying to unfold. So your mind is in tune with the teacher, and you are not merely listening, but you are doing the vichara. So you are walking along with the teacher, and anytime there is a question in your mind, you are stopping and you're trying to contemplate upon that and see what the teacher is trying to convey. So vichara carried out with the help of a teacher is called, with the help of guru, which is in keeping with the shastra, is called shravanam. And shravanam, so Swamiji here mentioned that when here it is said na bahuna shrutena, we should understand that the shruti is talking about merely by reading a lot of other text other than the Vedanta, you are not going to gain, you are not going to attain this Atma. So just a couple of notes which I will highlight to signify the importance of whatever Swamiji said. So intellect is listening to what the teacher is unfolding, and the learning is by what? Vichara, inquiry. Through what? Through the teacher. So you're not doing inquiry independently that, okay, let me see, let me think of, what the Upanishad is trying to say. But as the teacher is trying to walk you through, you are walking along with the teacher. And the teacher may give some rationale, some points to ponder upon why the experiences that you are going through um, are not completely true. So, and you walk along with the teacher, you take those rationale explained by the teacher and apply it in your life to make more sense. So, this is called vichara. So, that Upanishad vichara definitely is the means for gaining Atma. So, here when Shrutena is being talked, it is talked about the other text, anything other than Vedanta. But also, as I said previously, they want to highlight what? The commitment to Atma. So now the question is, Kena tarhi labhyaha iti uchyate. Then by what means is Atma to be gained? Then it is said, what? Yameva paramatmanam eva eshaha vidvan vrunute praptum ichchati. So by which paramatma? Yam eva. Yam eva meaning what? Paramatmanam. Desiring which Paramatma, this seeker, this Vidwan, this wise, Vrunute, chooses uh, to that Paramatma whom this seeker chooses. Chooses meaning what? Vrunute meaning praptum ichchati, meaning which he desires to attain. Then what? Tena varnena. By that commitment, by that varanam, by that commitment, by that priority, eshaha para atma labhyaha. By that commitment, choosing this Paramatma is gained. Eshaha param atma. This Paramatma is gained by this kind of commitment in life. Na anyena sadhana antarena nitya labdha swabhavatvat, and not by any other means. Why? Because nitya labhyaha, because atma is eternal, it is always already available, always and already available. Even while I am talking and you are listening, you are already nitya mukta shuddha, you are already brahman. That is the very nature. So it is not something that is to be created. It is an existing fact about me. Even when I do not know, it is the existing fact about me. And therefore, I need not go and adopt any other means, because Atma is eternal, it is always available, and Atma is not different from myself. Intense desire to gain Atma comes how? Because there is intense devotion. So commitment will come when we will have an intense devotion. And then because of that intense devotion, there is a desire for Atma. Because there is a desire for Atma, then there is a desire for knowledge. This is how we become engaged in the study of Shastra. So how should be my disposition? Swamiji says, my disposition should be that I am listening to myself, abhinna. So even when I am listening, I should not listen to it as a third entity. I am listening to a third entity, that this Brahman has to be gained. And when I will do the Shravanam, when I will do the when I will understand it, and when I will do the summary properly, and then I will meditate, then knowledge will happen. No, I should meditate. My disposition should be what? That even when I think that I don't understand, my being limitless is not compromised. I am listening to not something other than me. I am listening to my own nature. I am listening to myself. And what am I going to get after that? I am going to gain myself. So there is nothing new to be gained. This thing should be clear. कीदृशः असौ विदुषः आत्मलाभः इति उच्यते. What is the nature of that atmalabha? So to that it is said. तस्य एषः आत्मा अविद्यासञ्छन्नां स्वां परां तनुं स्व आत्मतत्त्वं स्वरूपं विवृणुते प्रकाशयति प्रकाशः इव घट आदिः विद्यायां सत्याम् आविर्भवति इत्यर्थः. So tasya एषः आत्मा avidya samchannam, because of avidya, because of ignorance, the true nature of atma param tanum swa atma tattvam, the true nature of the atma or self is what? Hidden. Is sanchannaha, is hidden, is not is hidden, and therefore atma is not known. So how does this atma become revealed? This atma becomes revealed to this seeker by vivrunute, meaning this atma illumines, prakashayati, it illumines, it reveals, it manifests itself just as ghatadihi eva, just as the light ghatadi, just as prakashah ghatadihi eva, just as the light reveals spot, etc. So also vidyayam satyam avirbhavati. So also when knowledge is present, vidyayam satyam, meaning satyam is not truth here. Satyam is sat is the word, and satyam is of the presence of the knowledge, vidya. When vidya is present, then what? Avirbhavatihi, what? Atma. Then this atma reveals itself. Just as when light is there, then the objects are revealed. So also when there is knowledge, then atma is revealed. So atma is hidden by what? Atma is hidden because of ignorance. And when that ignorance is removed, how? By knowledge. So when the knowledge is present, then what will happen? It will remove the ignorance, and therefore it will reveal the self. Tasmat anyat yagena atma prarthana eva atma labha sadhanam ityarthah. Therefore, the means for attainment of Atma is giving up of everything else. Okay, you know what? This is wrong. Nyatyagena it should be. Yagena what? Okay, that's how it should be, sorry. So tasmat anyatyagena, by giving up everything else, and what? By giving up everything else, when I do prarthana, when I do commitment for self, then that becomes the sadhanam for gaining atma, right? So there should be two things, anyatyagena and atma prarthana. Two things should happen, and then this commitment will come in our life. And how do we pray? Nicely Swamiji says the prayers for gaining atma should be like what? I want atma, meaning I want to know this, I want to know this. That should be the prime buzzing in our life. Not that I want to go to movies, I want to go to movies. No, I want to know atma, I want to know atma, I want to know my true nature. So When this happens, then that becomes the primary means. Are you guys okay if I take some more time today? Half an hour more?
Okay, Ji.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. Okay. So going further, नायमात्मा बलहीनेन लभ्यः न च प्रमादात् तमस्तपसो वाप्यलिङ्गात् एतैरुपायैः यतते यस्तु विद्वान् तस्यैष आत्मा विशते ब्रह्मधाम. So न अयमात्मा बलहीनेन लभ्यः न च प्रमादात् तपसः वा अपि अलिङ्गात् एतैः उपायैः यतते यः तु विद्वान् तस्य एषः आत्मा विशते ब्रह्मधाम. So by the one who is devoid of balahinena, by the one who is devoid of the strength, Atma cannot be gained, meaning Atma can be gained only by one who has strength. Then apramadah. So if one is not alert, then Atma cannot be gained. So by the one who is not alert, Atma cannot be gained. And further, tapas. If one is devoid of tapas in his life, tapas of the nature of knowledge, of the nature of inquiry here. So without tapas or knowledge or inquiry, also this Atma cannot be gained. And so Swamiji emphasized that day and night, I should be focused on doing this inquiry. My day and night should be filled up by tapas. Maximum time I should be inquiring about this thing, and only then the old habits will be displaced by this new thinking, by this new habit. Without tapas, this Atma cannot be attained. And further, tapas alone also will not do anything. Tapas should be accompanied by a linga, by a mark of what? Sannyas, renunciation, giving up. We have to take it as karma yoga. So constantly trying to give up my individuality, not doing for my own sake, doing anything and everything for the sake of Ishvara, for the sake of totality, for the benefit of somebody else. So when this kind of lifestyle I will live, then that will become a linga, that will become a lifestyle of sannyasa, or it will be closer to the lifestyle of sannyasa. Then Atma Prarthana will become the means for, then this Varanam will become the means for accelerated attainment of Atma. So when these upayas are accompanied with this kind of sannyasa, renunciation, and in all those who are family oriented people, you have to take it as karma yoga. Then by karma yoga, by Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and by Prasada Buddhi, that whatever I am getting, I am not going to complain because that is Prasada of Ishvara. So whether I am getting the neem juice from Bhagavan or I am getting that bundi ka laddu from Bhagavan, both of them are Prasada. So when this becomes the attitude, then all these means will help me, will accelerate this sadhana, this pursuit of self-knowledge. So by these means, those who strive, yatate, meaning strive, those who are continuously working towards this pursuit in their life, those who are wise and discriminative one of that person, his Atma enters Brahman, meaning he comes to know the identity of Jiva and Ishvara. He discovers the identity between Brahma and Atma. So, Videha Mukti or Jivan Mukti, we can also say this is talking about Jivan Mukti. Further, Atma Prarthana Sahaya Bhutani Etani cha sadhanani bala apramadad tapansi linga yuktani sannyasa sahitani. So, Atma Prarthana Sahaya Bhutani, meaning the desire to attain that Atma alone is the means to attain Atma. So, Atma Prarthana becomes the Sahaya, the means for what? For means for attaining Atma. So my mumuksha, my jignasa becomes the means, becomes the sadhana for what? For attaining Atma, for recognizing Atma. Etani cha sadhanani bala apramada tapansi, and all these means, which ones? Bala, strength. Which strength is talked about? So it will be discussed in a while. The strength, then apramadaha, alertness, and tapamsi, penance, austerity. How? Linga yuktani, along with the linga, indication or mark of what? Sannyasa. Linga here means sannyasa. Bhashyakar alone is explaining linga yuktani meaning sannyasa sahitani, along with the mark of sannyasa, renunciation. Yasmat na ayamatma balahinena balaprahinena atmanishta janita viryahinena labhyah. Meaning what? So what was the previous sentence? This Atma is available only when there is this desire for Atma. Then alone our pursuit becomes accelerated along with these other means when it is accompanied by this linga, linga of the nature of sannyasa. Why are you telling this? Yes, Mat, because na I am Atma balahinena. So why the Shruti is saying, okay? Na I am Atma balahinena balaprahinena Atma Nishta Janita Virya Hinena Labhyah. Because this Atma cannot be gained by one who is devoid of strength. What is the strength we are talking about? Balaprahinena, the internal strength created by the commitment to the Atma. So, like how that Arjuna also had that one commitment, how that inner strength came, and he didn't get distracted to anything else other than that one eye of the bird. So also, this inner strength comes by commitment to Atma, and Atma Nishta Janita Viryam Hinena. That total commitment to Atma creates a strength. Which strength is what? Which strength is the strength of Atma Nishtha, my conviction about what is the truth to be pursued in life, what is the goal to be pursued in life, that commitment, that no, anybody and everybody, let them say that, okay, you have studied enough, go for some ice cream, go for some movies. My focus will not get astray. I will not get distracted. This kind of single pointedness, this kind of commitment is being called for. And when one has that commitment, it will create a strength, it will bring a strength, and that balam is being talked about here. So, that Atmanishtha, this commitment will create a strength which is called Atmanishtha, abiding into ourselves. But before that abidance in means of knowledge, okay, but before that, what has to happen? So there needs to be two kind of nishtha. That is what I have, paraphrased here. That firstly, before my nishtha or conviction in the final goal, I need to have the nishta in the sadhana, which will take me to that goal. Before the commitment or the final decision that I have to go to Delhi, I also need to have a commitment that okay, by what way, which train is going to take me to Delhi. I cannot just jump on any train and go to Delhi. So to reach the destination, I need to have a commitment to the destination, but I also need to have commitment towards and clarity towards what means will take me to that destination. So that is highlighted. So the means of knowledge, which is Shravanam. So in that Shravanam also, that I do not restrict myself from giving up to Shravanam. But okay, I have listened for 2 years now and nothing is happening. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try meditation. I'm going to try something else. I mean, we may meditate, but to give up Shravanam as the primary means of knowledge, that is not right. That is being explained. That I need to also have this abidance in continuing my Shravanam, meaning continuing my inquiry. That strength alone shows the degree of commitment. That commitment gives the strength to overcome various obstacles. So Atma is also not known न अपि further न अपि लौकिक पुत्र पशु आदि विषय असंग निमित्तात् प्रमादात्. Atma is also not attained by the lack of alertness. Alertness regarding what? Of what I am seeking in my life, of my commitment in my life. Atma cannot be gained. So when I'm not alert to what is it I want, one has to be very clear of what is it I want, and all my activities should be in tune with that, with that goal in our life. So Atma is not attained by the lack of alertness. And how does that lack of alertness comes? Pashyakara says, Laukika putra pashu adi vishaya asanga nimitta. By the association of this worldly matters, the sun and animals, etc. All these external sense objects, they distract me, and therefore it results into a pramada, lack of alertness. So mind must be released from all the fascination, from wherever it may be distracted or it can be distracted. How? By doing dosha darshanam, by again and again showing it the fallacies or flaws of going after it. If the priorities are clear, then there will be no pramada, there will be no distraction. Tatha tapasah va api alingat, lingarahitat. And if tapas is also a linga, divide of outer marks, here what is that? Linga, it's the sannyasa is the ling presented here, meaning a way of life. The Vividisha sannyasa is talked about, that a certain way of life which will require a discipline, which will refrain you from going after anything other than contemplating on self. That kind of lifestyle is being called for, but that lifestyle should go along with this tapas, along with this inquiry. Then it will give you an expedited way of knowing this Brahman, reaching this Brahman, knowing this Brahman. And if that linga, the sannyasa, is not accompanied with tapas, then Atma is not attained. Tapaha atra jnanam. By tapas, you should understand here knowledge or inquiry, and lingam, sannyasa. By linga or mark, you should understand it as sannyasa, renunciation. Sanyasarahitat gnanat na labhyate ityartha. Meaning that Atma is not attained by knowledge or inquiry, which is devoid of this sannyasa renunciation. Vividisha sannyasa, the way of life or certain conduct in life. So, Bhashyakara was very clear of sannyasa should be part of your uh, new way of life if you want, if you're serious about this matter. Uh, Later acharyas, they gave different interpretations and they didn't necessarily held on to Bhashyakara's view. But I do think that yes, there is some weightage in what Bhashyakara is saying, that the whole it requires you to for continuously and always contemplating on the self. It requires you to be free from all the other responsibilities, and in that matter, yes, to gain that subtlety of mind, sannyasa is a much conducive lifestyle. But by all means, if one is able to develop a setup where one can, one can have this Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam in our life, then by all means, it is one need not take sannyasa as a lifestyle to have moksha. That's uh, that's a statement of our Swamiji as well. So we all should be happy that not everybody has to take sannyasa for moksha, but one does have to take mentally be a sannyasi, meaning that individuality has to be given up slowly and slowly. That sannyasa has to happen for everybody, remain regardless of whether you are going to change your attire or not. So some important notes: as long as there is ahankara, I have a certain image to project, I have a certain image to protect, and so values will be compromised. What is this lifestyle of sannyasa? That you do not, you make sure that the values of satya, ahimsa, truth, etc., kshama, those are not compromised, and I try to adopt that in my life as much as possible. Uh, uh, so, a certain obligation is there on someone who is in a setup, and so this emphasis on sannyasa is being given by Bhashyakara. Then the last sentence of the mantra: एतैः उपायैः बल अप्रमादसन्न्यासज्ञानैः यतते tatparaha san prayatate. So by committing to knowledge, gnanaihi, by committing to knowledge, which is accompanied by the chinha of sannyasa and other means, which is what? Apramadaha, lack of alertness, and bal, the strength coming from the total commitment to knowing the self. Yatate, one who strives in this manner, tatparaha san, one who is being committed to this one goal in life, prayatate, one who strives in this manner, yahatu vidvan, who is a vidvan, who is a viveki, who is a discriminative person, atmavid, who is the knower of the self, tasya vidushaha eshaha atma vishate, sampravishati brahmadamaha, of that wise person, atma enters the Atma enters, very well enters Brahmadamaha. The Atma enters Brahman as the abode, meaning he discovers the identity of Jiva and Brahman. His self enters Brahman, meaning he discovers identity with Brahman, meaning he attains Videha Mukti. Now, the next few mantras are talking of Jivan Mukti. Okay. So I think we are already 8:25, so I will have to stop here. Okay, I will stop here. Tomorrow we will meet at 6 o'clock and be ready for be ready for up to 2 hours. Okay, 6 to 8. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
हरि ओम
Om.
हरि ओम
हरि ओम्